Karl, good to have you on the show. All right, so in terms of the refugee crisis, how difficult is it getting when individual EU states sort of unilaterally start adopting their own immigration policies that may not necessarily be in line with the blocs?
Okay, what we face at the Polish and Belarus-Russian border is a clear violation of international law and European law. It's crystal clear. We see it live on TV. We have pushbacks of refugees and migrants, violence, inhumane treatment. People are deported even from hospitals in Poland back to Belarus. These are clear violations of all international standards.
Okay. When you look at sort of like some of the pictures that we're seeing right now, obviously water cannons are being used right now, but many of the pictures are showing hundreds of migrants sort of lighting up fires, trying to stay warm. The overnight temperatures in this no man's land in the forested area generally dips below zero. It's only going to get worse. The weather conditions are dire. Do you feel that this is going to maybe add pressure to the governments across Europe to be more sympathetic, to let them in?
At the moment, we have no sign that Europe is ready to give a humane and dignified answer. And the real answer to save the lives of these people is to give them access to the territory, to this fair asylum procedure, and create the reception in Europe, Germany, as a leading country. This is the only solution to avoid more death. Already 10 people died during the last weeks. And to end this, the only solution is stick to the human rights principle, stick to the European principles and humanity.
The crisis that we're seeing at the border between Poland and Belarus is just the latest. There is the North African route into southern Europe. We saw that several years back. Even before that, we saw the Aegean and Balkan route being heavily used. I mean, many of these refugees, as you say, they're escaping war, and in some cases, torture, rape. All of them are looking for a better future because of the economic hardships that they're experiencing back home. Why are Europeans turning their heads, or the governments turning their heads?
Yeah, the governments and the European representatives like von der Leyen, the president of the EU Commission, they say, okay, let's be tough. Now Europe is ready to create ugly pictures, horrible practices to show there is no way through. And they sacrifice the values of Europe, which are infringed in different treaties, EU treaties, the rule of law, human dignity, human rights. So this is a tough situation, and what we need is, let's say, a coalition of willing states and cities and regions all over Europe. Germany, there are hundreds of cities ready to take in newcomers, refugees, and give them dignified shelter, and then they should have a fair asylum procedure.
Okay, you've identified the problem. You say it's a tough situation. I agree with you, but how do advocacy groups like yourselves and social movements across the continent sort of help in terms of the formation of this coalition of the willing and get some action?
Okay, we advocate for a common European asylum system. My organization, PRO ASYL, is since 30 years. We advocate in Germany. We will get a new government, so we ask for a fresh start in the European refugee policy. And the crucial aspect is stick to the principles, defend human rights, rule of law. And if we start like this and we go on like this, the whole project Europe, good one, is under attack.
All right. You reside in a country, Germany, which is perhaps one of the more pro-refugee leaning countries. When you look at the countries that are on the periphery, on the borders of the bloc, Poland, Greece, Italy, I think you would agree that the perception needs to be increased there more so than the final destination, or the desired final destination of these refugees as well.
Yes. There's a lack of solidarity also within Europe. So we need a solidarity-based refugee policy, not to let the external border countries alone to support them, but to also in a physical way, that means reception of refugees from there, relocation within Europe. But to make clear, stick to the rule of law, stick to the human rights and the right to seek asylum. So it's a combination, the principles and then a solidarity-based policy receiving refugees within Europe.
All right. Karl Kopp, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for joining us here on the NewsHour. I do appreciate your analysis.